Why, hello there, lovely one. It's me, Helen the Great, and we're going to go over that quiz that you've just completed. If you haven't done it yet, don't cheat yourself out of the learning experience. Go back and try it and then come back and I'll show you all the answers. Okay, now the first 5 questions I chose because they were so similar to each other. So it was nice because you had to know all of your operations and how they worked. Remember, you always need to use Fabumaths. If you don't use Fabumaths, you won't pass. It's as simple as that. So Fabumaths says we must first work with brackets. Now in this case, it's quite easy. -2 stays -2 because all we're multiplying by it is 1, but we don't really multiply it by 1 because we're lazy. Plus -10, well, that's going to become -10 because +1 times by minus gives us minus, which means our answer is -12. It's that easy. Our next question is -2 minus -10. So let's put our imaginary 1 in front of it and get rid of that bracket. -10 times by -1 gives us +10. So we get an answer of 8. Really not that bad at all. The next question, -2 minus +10. Let's get rid of that bracket again. And remember, when there's nothing written in front of the bracket, it's automatically a 1 in front of it. So we leave -2 for now. -1 times by +10 gives us -10, which means our answer is -12. That's exactly the same answer as the first one, because it's pretty much exactly the same question. Now we've got -2 times by -10. If we get rid of the brackets first, there's nothing really that will change. Remember, if there's nothing written in front of the brackets, it's automatically a 1. We just don't write it because we're lazy, and that's the key behind mathematics, is just to find the lazy way of doing it. Now I've got -2 times by -10. I know that 2 times 10 is 20, but what is a negative times a negative? And that's going to be a positive, which means my answer is +20. Now I have -2. We'll take out of the brackets. Remember, if there's nothing written in front of the brackets, it's automatically 1. 1 times -2 is -2. Now I'm going to multiply it by 10. 2 times 10 is 20. A negative times a positive is negative, so my answer is -20. Not bad at all. Okay, the next few questions focus on your use of Fabumaths. It's not so much just the negative and positive numbers, it's can you work things out in the right order. And we're going to start with the brackets. And within the brackets, we have a division problem going on. So we start with the division within the brackets. What is 2 divided by 2? 2 divided by 2 is 1. We still need to work within the brackets. So what is 4 minus 1? That's going to be 3. And now, what is 3? Silly me, I put the bracket in. But what is 3 times 2? That's going to be -6. Why did I do the multiplication at that point? Well, I'd gotten rid of the brackets, and then I would look for a divide problem. There's no divide problem. Then I look for a multiply, and those are multiplied by each other, which means my final answer is -3. The next one, also a straightforward Fabumaths question. This bracket is equals to 1. And this bracket is equals to -1. What is 1 divided by negative 1? Straightforward, negative 1. Oh dear, we have a whole lot of things going on over here, which is why you need to break it up into sizable chunks, and that's what Fabumaths does for you. Of course, you know how to eat an elephant. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. So even though this question looks like an elephant, you start with your brackets, then you do your of, then you divide, then you multiply, and it will become much easier. So I'm going to start with my brackets, and of course I've got brackets within the brackets, so I'm going to start there. Everything else I leave the same for now. So I'll just rewrite that and write the 12 divided by, and what's 4 plus 8? Well, that's 12. Oh, that's so nice, isn't it? 12 divided by 12 is 1, which is great, because it does make it easier for us. Plus 1. Okay, now that we've done that, we need to look for division. Do we have any division? No, we don't. We need to look for multiplication. Now we've got a couple of multiplication things going on, so I'm going to start by just multiplying the first two values together. So 0 times negative 4 is going to be 0. Nice, isn't it? And then I write down the rest of the multiplication. This is actually a really good trick to do, especially when we get to algebra. Just multiply the first two together and then the next two, and you'll be fine. You don't get confused then. 0 times 2, nice and easy. It's going to be 0. Now we can do our addition. 0 plus 1 is 1. Question 9 had a fraction, and the fraction's there purely to make you feel insecure. Now, often in class, I talk about grannies in bikinis. The reason I talk about them is usually your grannies make you smile. They give you nice biscuits, they spoil you, they stand up for you in front of your parents, and it's really nice going to visit them. But as soon as your granny puts on a bikini, look, there's a shocked face. You don't want to be around. It's not a great look for any granny. So this is a question which should make you feel good, but because it's got ugly things happening at the top and at the bottom, and it's in a fraction, it's going to make you feel insecure. As soon as you recognize that it's an easy question that's just making you feel insecure, you'll be far better at doing it. So according to Fabumaths, I'm going to do my brackets first. And that's 18 minus, and we've got at the bottom 6 times minus 3 is minus 18. We've still got to get rid of the brackets, so minus 59 minus 13 over 18 minus minus 18, which gives me plus 18. I think I need to get rid of my faces, so let's do that, and we'll delete them, and then it's a much happier space, isn't it? Okay, so now we can do our subtraction and our addition. At the top, we've got negative 59 minus 13, so that's going to be negative 60, negative 72. Negative 72 at the top, and at the bottom, 36. What is negative 72 divided by 36? Well, 36 times 2 is 72. So that must mean that when we simplify the fraction, we get an answer of negative 2. Our last question from the quiz was 12 divided by negative 4 over negative 3, well, negative times by negative 3. Once again, we do the brackets first. So it's 12 divided by negative 4 over, what's a negative times a negative? It's going to be positive 3. What is 12 divided by negative 4? Well, positive divided by a negative is a negative, so it's going to be negative 3. over 3. And what is negative 3 divided by 3? It's negative 1. Well, lovely one, you can hear that my voice is tired now, so I'm going to say goodbye. It's been wonderful spending time with you, and good luck with the next course you take. Much love.